Good afternoon, students. Last class we discussed about the methods of preparation of both aldehydes and ketones and a few reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Those reactions are common. Now let us take a few more reactions regarding these aldehydes and ketones. Those are in common. Now next one, that is the condensation reaction. When two or more reactants react with the elimination of simple molecules like water, ammonia, HCl, they are called as a condensation reaction. See, in this heading, we have more reagents, that is more condensation reactions. Now let us take the first one, that is reaction with ammonia. Reaction with the ammonia. See, aldehydes and ketones react with ammonia to form a product which are called as imines. So do you remember the reaction which is called as the Stefan's reaction? That is the method used for the preparation of aldehydes. When RCN undergoes reduction with SnCl2 and HCl, there is an intermediate called as imine is formed. So C double bond N. Here the C double bond NH, they are called as imines. So both aldehydes and ketones reacts with ammonia. They form the compounds which are called as imine. Very easy to write this reaction. NH3, for our convenience, I wrote this NH3 as NH2H because this H2 goes with oxygen as H2O and they form product called as imine. Next one, with amine, that is a primary amine. Aldehydes and ketones react with amine. They form substituted amine. Which are called as Schiff's base. See, that name is important. When aldehyde reacts with the primary amine, the name of the product formed are called as, or is called as, they are called as a Schiff's base. They are called as a Schiff's base. These are the general reactions, how these aldehydes reacts with the ammonia. Next, with the hydroxyl amine. Formula hydroxyl OH, amine NH2. Say both aldehydes and ketones undergoes condensation with hydroxyl amine. This is how this reaction takes place and it gives product which are called as oximes. It is an aldehyde, hence it is called aldoxide. Ketone gives ketoxide. Here is an example for this reaction. Formaldehyde. I took formaldehyde as an example. Formaldehyde undergoes condensation reaction with the hydroxyl amine to form formaldehyde. Similarly, you have to write down the equations for acetaldehyde, benzaldehyde. Acetaldehyde gives acetal dioxide. Benzaldehyde gives benzol dioxide. Now let us take acetone as an example. I wrote example for ketone as acetone. Acetone undergoes condensation with hydroxylamine, gives acetone oxide. Similarly, acetophenone undergoes condensation with hydroxylamine, giving acetophenone oxide. Any one reaction can be asked in your examination. So you have to know all these examples, all the examples, that is formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, benzaldehyde, acetone as well as acetophenone. Next reagent is hydrazine. Very easy to remember the name hydrazine. Replace this OH by NH2 in a hydroxylamine. So you will get the formula of hydrazine. Same reaction, similar reactions here. Just OH is replaced by NH2, RC double bond OH, NH2, NH2. So H2O is removed, giving RCH double bond NH2. Ketone RCOR, NH2, NH2, giving RC double bond NH2. So the general name of these compounds is hydrazone. Hydrazine gives a hydrazone. For example, formaldehyde undergoes a condensation reaction with the hydrazine, gives a formaldehyde hydrazone. Similarly, acetaldehyde gives a acetaldehyde hydrazone, benzaldehyde gives benzaldehyde hydrazone, acetone gives acetone hydrazone, acetophenone gives a acetophenone hydrazone. For all those examples, you have to write the equations. Okay. So fifth example, reaction with phenylhydrazine. Very easy to write the formula. NH2 is hydrazine. Replace H by C6H5. Remove one hydrogen atom. In that place, put C6H5 or C6. You can write this benzene ring. So this is called as a phenylhydrazine. Aldehyde or ketone undergoes condensation reaction with phenylhydrazine, gives corresponding phenylhydrazone, gives corresponding phenylhydrazone. Hydrazine gives hydrazone, phenylhydrazine gives phenylhydrazone, corresponding phenylhydrazone. So these are the general reactions. For example, if you take formaldehyde, formaldehyde undergoes condensation with the phenylhydrazine. This is the reaction, and it gives a formaldehyde phenylhydrazone. Similarly, acetaldehyde gives acetaldehyde phenylhydrazone. Benzaldehyde gives benzaldehyde phenylhydrazone. Acetone gives acetone phenylhydrazone. Acetophenone gives acetophenone phenylhydrazone. So you have to write all these equations for those compounds. Okay. Next reagent is a 2,4 DNP. That is 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine. You know the formula of phenylhydrazine. So this is the formula of phenylhydrazine. At position 2 and 4, put NO2 groups. So this is position 1, this is position 2, 3, 4. So put at position 2 NO2 and at position 4 another NO2. So you will get a 2,4 DNP. This is the structure of 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine. So it is a DNP. What is DNP? Dinitrophenylhydrazine. So when both aldehydes and ketones undergoes condensation reaction with the 2,4 DNP, gives corresponding 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazone. Hydrazine gives a hydrazone. Phenylhydrazine gives phenylhydrazone. 2,4 DNP gives a 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazone. So these are the two general reactions. That is, one is aldehyde, another one is a ketone. Illondu example anna ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ formaldehyde ತಗೋಣ. Formaldehyde undergoes condensation with the 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine, gives formaldehyde 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazone. Similarly, you can write the equation, that is acetaldehyde undergoes condensation with 2,4 DNP gives formaldehyde 2,4 dinitrophenyl hydrazone. Acetone gives acetone 2,4 dinitrophenyl hydrazone. So you have to write the reactions for those compounds also. Now the last reagent is with the semicarbazide. How to remember the formula of semicarbazide? If you know the formula of urea, what is the formula of urea? NH2CO NH2. Replace one hydrogen atom by another NH2. So that gives the formula of semicarbazide. Very easy to remember. So remember the formula of urea. What is the formula? NH2CO NH2. Replace one hydrogen atom by NH2. You will get semicarbazide. So NH2CO NH NH2. So both aldehydes and ketones undergoes condensation reaction with the semicarbazide gives corresponding semicarbazone. So for example, formaldehyde undergoes condensation reaction with the semicarbazide gives formaldehyde semicarbazone. Similarly, acetaldehyde gives acetaldehyde semicarbazone, benzaldehyde gives benzaldehyde semicarbazone, acetone gives acetaldehyde semicarbazone, and acetophenone gives acetophenone semicarbazone. So these are all the condensation reactions. So these reactions appears to be simple, but while writing, if you yourself if you don't know the formula, then it becomes very difficult to write the equation. So therefore, it requires a regular practice to remember the name of the reagent. Once if you know the reagent, the formula of the reagent, you can easily write the reactions or the equations. So therefore, regular practice is required for learning the organic chemistry. That is most important. So therefore, practice regularly, at least 15 to 20 minutes work organic chemistry. So the next reaction is oxidation. Now let us take first oxidation of aldehydes. Aldehydes on oxidation. You can take oxidizing agent like acidified potassium dichromate, alkaline potassium permanganate, anhydrous CrO3, bromine in water. So those are all mild oxidizing agent, whereas acidified potassium dichromate and alkaline potassium permanganate, they are all good oxidizing, or what we call strong oxidizing agent. So in presence of an oxidizing agent, aldehyde undergoes oxidation, gives a carboxylic acid. So what is the significance of this reaction? See, aldehyde on oxidation gives monocarboxylic acid, but the obtained carboxylic acid contains the same number of carbon atoms, as that of aldehyde. So I think you remembered the elucidation, structural elucidation, open chain structure of glucose. In that, I explained how to conformed or the conformation of aldehyde functional group. So glucose on oxidation gives gluconic acid. The obtained gluconic acid contains same number of carbon atoms as that of glucose. So therefore, that reaction is based on this. So identification or the conformation of aldehyde functional group. So aldehyde on oxidation gives a carboxylic acid, but obtained carboxylic acid contains same number of carbon atoms as that of aldehyde. So formaldehyde on oxidation gives formic acid, acetaldehyde gives acetic acid, benzaldehyde gives a benzoic acid. Now let us take oxidation of ketones. So the next one is oxidation of ketones. See, ketones on oxidation gives a mixture of carboxylic acid. So why do we get mixture of carboxylic acid? Now let us take an example, that is acetone. acetone on oxidation with acidified potassium dichromate. Here we get acetic acid and formic acid. Now this formic acid undergoes further oxidation, giving carbon dioxide and water. Remember, this is the only acid which undergoes oxidation, giving carbon dioxide and water. So in this what happens? There is a rupture of carbon-carbon bond, and this requires more energy. So therefore, compared to aldehydes, ketones are difficult to oxidize. Ketones are difficult to oxidize when compared to aldehydes, because there is a rupture of carbon-carbon bond which requires relatively more energy. Because of this carbon-carbon rupture, breaking of this carbon-carbon, we get two different carboxylic, that is two or mixture of carboxylic acid. So that is the reason why acetic, that is acetone on oxidation gives acetic acid and formic acid, which undergoes further oxidation, giving carbon dioxide and water. Now let us take an example, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a 2-pentanone. See, 2-pentanone is an example for unsymmetrical ketone. We don't have any problem with the symmetrical ketone, that is oxidation of symmetrical ketone. In oxidation of symmetrical ketone, now this group, that is a CO group, can go with either of this group or this group. We don't have any problem, because if this CO group goes with CH2, CH3, one acid contains the carbon atoms 3 and another acid contains 2 carbon atoms. Or if this CO goes with this CH2, CH3, same, one acid contains 3 carbon atoms and another acid contains 2 carbon. So we don't have any problem with the oxidation of symmetrical ketones. That is, easily we can predict the product form. But what about unsymmetrical ketones, or what we call mixed ketone? So for the oxidation of unsymmetrical ketones or mixed ketones, we use Popoff's rule. According to this rule, during the oxidation of unsymmetrical ketone, this CO always goes with a smaller alkyl group. What do you mean by smaller alkyl group? The alkyl group which contains less number of carbon atom, that is called as a smaller alkyl group. So therefore, 2-pentanone on oxidation, see, according to this Popoff's rule, this CO goes with this alkyl group. As a result, one acid contains 2 carbon atoms, that is acetic acid, and another acid contains 3 carbon atoms, that is propanoic acid. So on oxidation of 2-pentanone, it gives propanoic acid and acetic acid, and these products are based on which rule? That is Popoff's rule. Now this is about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones. See the difference between the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes on oxidation gives same number. The obtained carboxylic acid contains same number of carbon atoms. But here in ketones, it is not the same case. The obtained carboxylic acid contains less number of carbon atoms as that of ketones. That is due to the formation of mixture of carboxylic acid. This is one of the reactions used to distinguish aldehydes and ketones. Now let us take a reduction reaction. The next one, reduction reaction. So in this first one is Clemmensen reduction reaction. It is a Clemmensen reduction reaction. very important. Not in 1 mark ige, what is the reducing agent used in Clemmensen reduction reaction? So you may ask, what is the reducing agent used in this reaction? So when aldehyde or ketone, so I wrote CO, this is a carbonyl group, this is present both in aldehyde and ketone, which undergoes reduction in presence of zinc amalgam in concentrated HCl, and this CO, that is CO, is converted into CH2. Remove this oxygen by 2 hydrogen atoms. So this is called as a hydrocarbon. So in this Clemmensen reduction, we get a hydrocarbon. For example, say acetaldehyde, ethanol, on reduction with the zinc amalgam in concentrated HCl. Replace this oxygen by 2 hydrogen. So it is CH3, CH, add 2 hydrogen, we get ethane. Benzaldehyde, in presence of zinc amalgam in concentrated HCl, remove this oxygen by 2 hydrogen, add 2 hydrogen, we get CH3, C6H5. This is called as a toluene. Next example. One more example in this Clemmensen reduction. Propanone, that is acetone, undergoes reduction in with zinc amalgam in concentrated HCl. It gives a propane. Now let us take a very important or another named reaction, that is Wolff-Kishner reduction reaction. See, aldehydes and ketones first react with NH2NH2. You know the name of this NH2NH2? This is called as hydrazine. Aldehyde or ketone first undergoes reaction with the hydrazine, gives a corresponding hydrazone. Now this product, on heating with the KOH and ethylene glycol, what happens? This N2 goes off, giving a product called as a hydrocarbon. See, both in Wolff-Kishner as well as Clemmensen reduction, the product remains the same, that is a hydrocarbon. Only the difference is the reducing agent. In Wolff-Kishner reduction, we use first NH2. This is the first reagent, and the second one is KOH or NaOH in ethylene glycol. So this is the reducing agent used in Wolff-Kishner reduction reaction. Only the difference is the reducing agent. In Clemmensen, we use zinc amalgam in concentrated HCl, whereas in Wolff-Kishner, we use hydrazine and KOH in ethylene glycol. This is heated. The corresponding hydrazine is heated with KOH and ethylene glycol. It gives hydrocarbon. Example, acetaldehyde reacts with hydrazine, gives acetaldehyde hydrazone. On heating with KOH and ethylene glycol, gives a hydrocarbon called as ethane. Similarly, acetone undergoes condensation with hydrazine, gives acetone hydrazone. On heating with KOH and ethylene glycol, it gives off nitrogen, forming propane. See, these two named reactions are very, very important.